Javonne.
That's you?
Hell yeah, it's me, man. Get your ass in the truck, my nigga.
Always get out the car and greet your family.
I got you. But damn, you couldn't hop out and greet your nephew?
Give me some love, my nigga.
Trying to get some money with you.
Money with me? What you mean?
You know what I mean, huh? I'll do whatever. I'll leave it to the man that works.
You look like your pops, man. Don't need the six.
Yo.
We're back.
We're back. That trailer sets it up a certain way. I never even saw that trailer. That trailer. Ooh.
I would say it like this. The trailer gives away something that if you hadn't seen the trailer, you don't know until maybe 30 minutes in. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And you're kind of like, what the hell? Like, because I definitely there was I don't know if it will be defined as a twist, but there's just an element that just comes up in a conversation. You go, wait a minute, huh? Oh my God. Like, oh, wait a minute. And it complicates things, but let me shut up. Go, do your thing, boss. Do your thing.
No, man. It's good to be back. We're back. You know, I've missed a few episodes, so I'm glad to be here talking with you. Unfortunately, the rest of the crew couldn't be here, but one of the things that we're doing that you guys can start expecting from us is getting more into the indie market, these indie content. Starting with this one, to get back with your boy Big Jaw and his team, as you can see from the trailer. And yeah, let's just get into it, man. What was your initial impressions with it?
My initial impressions were straight up, I was impressed. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you, he posted. All right, so like this was originally broken up into like episodes, like a series, and he put the first 3 on the Big Jaw YouTube channel. So I started watching them like, ooh, and then he just stopped posting them. And then like they started going on with the regular funny content, because Big Jaw content is mostly comedy, or 99% comedy. And so I was like, yo, whatever happened to this? I'm thinking they might have canceled it, or something didn't go right, or maybe they was making a movie out of it. I was really into it. So then I don't know how I'd be going down my little rabbit hole. Okay. And the video popped up on my timeline, and I'm like, wait. This looked just like, and I was like, oh, that's it. So I immediately threw it in a group chat without watching it, because I wanted to get the whole team involved. So like I already kind of got sucked in from the beginning. Right. And I'm a huge Big Jaw fan. I think him and everybody that works with him do such a phenomenal job with their acting, the choice locations for shooting. You know what I mean? Like you can see that they're not spending a lot of money, but they are putting all the right things in where it needs to go.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have to say, man, I was glad that you threw it in the chat. I had no idea. I mean, I knew that Big John was putting together content, and they were, it was more than just skits. That they were actually putting together some content you can sit down and enjoy, stories and everything. And I knew they were taking it serious. But I had no idea about this. So when you threw it in the chat and you say, yo, I think we should check this out. And you know me, I didn't want to watch no trailer or nothing. That's why that was my first time seeing it. I said, man, let's do it.
Facts.
Yeah.
I knew that we were going to at least get some production quality, a little bit more than some of the other 2B joints that we get. You know what I mean? And for clarity, they don't go over the top. It's not like they be renting mansions and all that. Like, whoever apartment, they got like 3 apartments that they use all of the time. Like, and I'm like, I know when I see those certain pictures on the wall, or the certain couches, the neon sign to the max. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it seemed like my boy got the spot, and that's like they using that and creating with it. And it's such a beautiful thing, man. Super genius. And that's why I try to tell, it was like getting back to the concept of you don't have to spend a lot. Just get it done, man. Like, people just love content when they see content. You know what I mean? And that's I feel like that's the opening for this. Like, you know what I mean? People want content, and this is it.
And this is a perfect example. I just want to go ahead and get into my highs and lows, if you're cool with that.
Oh, please go right ahead, boss.
Because that's one of my biggest things. For this, they really maximized their budget, the use of locations. And made sure they shot things tight. They only really went wide if they needed to. They made sure that they didn't need a whole lot to tell the story. and the story will hold you. The story was actually entertaining. The perspective, I don't want to spoil anything, but basically the perspective of one of the characters actually being involved and then wondering if he would be found out. You've seen the story before, but I like the way that this was told. I like the way that you have to worry about how information is going to be spilled, if it's going to come out or not. I was really enjoying it, and then for the most part, there was a few actors that but I mean, still, they it didn't take me out of it, but everybody was pretty much delivering with their acting and everything. Um, as far as the my lows, I would say one of the things that bothered me is there was a couple of components of the story that they or a couple of plots that they threw in to help push the story, but I felt like they were like unnecessary. I felt like there could have been more creative ways to get information out. There was a couple of guys that were involved in the situation, and in that situation, more information came out, and that was really what that situation did for the story. But as far as everything else, it was kind of just extra. I don't know if they were just trying to fill in a certain amount of time. So that kind of was like unnecessary. The ending for me fell short. It made it, I get why it ended the way it did, and it made total sense to me. But I didn't. There was a lot more I would like to have seen come to, and I'm hoping we get that later. But that's all I'm gonna say. That's the best I can do without spoiling. That's the best I can do without spoiling. How about you, JS?
I'm with you. Like, I'm so scared that I don't want to spoil this too, because I really want to encourage people to please go. It's on YouTube. You know what I mean? And if necessary, we'll put it in the description so you can click on it and watch it. It is such a it's a great piece of independent content. Like, this to me, it's a this is like a beginner's kind of like, yo, this is that school book where if you get into this and watch the nuances, how masterful it is, you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to be disrespectful when I'm saying like this is like the 101 school, but it's like they have mastered the basics and giving you just like, yo, we don't have $20 million. We got, few dollars, and it's mostly to edit and feed niggas and get some new outfits, keep people hair good. You know what I mean? Because that's something I'm super impressed with. Everybody looks great. Everybody is manicured. All of the clothes are straight. You know what I mean? Like, there's no wrinkled outfits, and like, this is definitely, a very, whoever's eye is on shooting is making sure that everybody looks their part. Everybody has an individual look. They're not all looking the same, and that there is character development. Everybody is a character, and they're a developed character. And it's not necessary that they're all over the top. They all have their little idiosyncrasies and individual nuances, but you know what I mean? Like, that's what makes this unique. And I don't know whether I'm going in the highs and lows. I'm just really kind of like, talking my shit. But right. My highs for this is the story. The original, I'm not gonna say originality of it, but just the fact that they attempted to give us this layered, complicated storyline, the tension. I felt like they did a great job with the music, making the scenes feel eerie, building up the mistrust between people, wondering who's gonna do what, who's aligned with who. That was another great thing, I think. They really did a great job of showing you how you don't really know who to trust when or where. You know what I mean? I love the fact that even though they do kind of, there's a lot going on, I liked hey, we're going to give you a little bit of character development over here. We're going to give you a little bit of character development over here. We're going to interlock, if you're paying attention, we're going to interlock these little things without having to say it. I enjoy that. And I enjoyed the fact that they didn't go too far down the rabbit hole trying to sell you a concept. The next thing is Ja has always been great at selling California culture, LA culture, the B-roll, the locations, they don't make it look hood. They're not trying to make it look gangster. They're not trying to make it look like Bad Dad. They're showing you a, lower middle class Black lifestyle. People drive decent cars. People have jobs. They got big screens. They're eating. It's not like niggas is struggling. This ain't a struggle story. This isn't ignorance. If you really listened up everybody talking, even though they might put some hood on, I can still understand what they're saying. It's still not crazy ignorant. You know what I'm saying? I love that about this film, is that there is a little bit of polish. There is a little bit of, like, we carry ourselves with a certain level of self-respect, even from the even though we showing you some street shit, this ain't that. You know what I mean? We in a small different lane with it. There is some violence. There is an exceptional amount of violence and killing and all of that good stuff, but it's not over the top. It's not. I feel like the violence is for a purpose. It's not to end it. It's not like we're going to give you a bunch of scenes just to try to, like, this is us. This is the movie, shooting and killing. And then, like, we're going to show you big booty cheeks for no reason. Like, everything that you see has a purpose and is being placed there for a reason. Now, if I'm going to give you any of my lows, it will be this, is that certain small amount of scenes weren't necessary. I could have been like, yo, you could have done without that. You could have done without this. Certain scenes, I mean, as in all indie films, a lot of times people will go a little bit too far with dialogue, and certain things are starting to get dragged out, and I start to feel the weight of the time and the story, even though I'm scared shitless, because I really don't want Ja to die, and there's my characters that I become accustomed to and that I love, and and you don't want to see him die, so you're nervous, but you still start feeling the weight of, okay, all right, I really don't care about this conversation. Why can't we just hurry up and get to this? All right, do I need to see another meeting in a car lot somewhere? Come on, I don't need no more meetings. Like you know what I mean? And they don't do a lot of it, but there were a few moments where they explained story that I was like, you don't need to explain this to me. I know where we at. Like, let's just go. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm following the film. You don't have to spell it out to me. You know what I mean? But I feel like, I don't know if that's something that they felt like they needed to do for their audience, but I didn't need it for me. I didn't need that at all. But bottom line, overall, I really enjoyed the film. The ending was a little predictable, but I'm not tripping. I enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. And it's like one of them joints. This, to me, is the definition of Netflix and chill. Like, to me, this is still high level independent. This is something that if they made another one, I'm going to watch it. I wasn't completely turned off by it. I wasn't like, oh my God, here's this nigga like trying to be an actor. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody was giving it their 100%. And I respected that. I feel like that's another thing I love about Ja. When those guys step onto a scene, they're taking the content dead serious. Like Warner Brothers had cut that $100 million check. You know what I mean? Everybody's coming with the seriousness, man. Like even now, that was this one scene where Shorty slapped the shit out of Ja. Oh Lord, I was like, God damn. Y'all, I was just like, she it's aggressive, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that level of commitment I super respect. So like, shout out to the whole team. I'm a huge fan. You know what I mean? I hope they get a chance to watch some of this and just know how much they're loved. I don't know if they know whether or not they're appreciated. I have gotten a lot of hours of entertainment in watching Big Ja content, and a lot of the other different other people that have channels on YouTube. But shout out to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Something else you said though, I wanted to piggyback on. I forgot to mention the whoever was responsible for the cinematography, the way that they chose to play with shots or movement of the camera, or create it, like you said, to create the intensity. Where you see things in the background, you wonder if the character in the foreground is going to see
right,
it.
Right,
when they turn around, somebody's right there. I'm like, yo, they really executing this thing. They're dead serious when they're executing this. Like, it doesn't matter if it's comedy or if it's drama. Like, they're taking it to the max. What I'm saying?
Yeah, they took it to the max. You know what I mean? So like, yo, and you love that, and it adds to that believability factor, that the suspension of belief. You're in it, like you are completely, even down to like maybe if I was to give out any kind of like criticism, like the young boy probably isn't the most skilled actor, but he acts just like a lot of young kids I know. So it's like, it still was believable. Like, I definitely enjoyed everything about it, and man, everything was used. I feel like it's one of those things where they use up all the scene. they use up every location. All the location is being used up. Like they're getting everything out of everybody. Like no shot is left to waste. You know what I mean? And they're really putting it all out there. And I super enjoy it, man. So like shout out to them, man. Shout out, super enjoy it. And I recommend this highly. If I was to give this a rating,
Let's do it.
I'm gonna give it. I would definitely give this a good watch. This is definitely a good watch. Worth a repeat. I'll tell you like that. It's definitely something I would recommend to friends. If they had a DVD version, I wouldn't mind adding this to my hood DVD section. You know what I'm saying? I put it next to Killer Season. You know what I mean? I'm gonna put it next to Shatas. You know what I mean? Like it's one of them joints. You know, and I respect it as that. Even the artwork, if you ever see the poster looks fire. So like, you know what I mean? And it's beautiful to see the contrast because we're so used to seeing Big Jaw act funny and clumsy and you know what I'm saying? But then you see him do this completely different, serious, you know, street character. I was like, wow, this is range, man. Like, you know what I mean? So shout out to him for that. And even the other players that are on the team that we normally see in comedies being able to flip that switch and give you that something different, man. I respect them super highly for that. Eddie, how about you?
Yeah, for me, I'm definitely gonna have to give this a good watch. Good watch, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So like, yeah, man, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, you good. What I was like you said, you know, it's definitely something I will push to other people, but I would also push it to not just people that say, hey, if you're looking for content, this is actually good, but also people who are creating on their own to be like, you know, take notes of this, take notes of that, how you just got a story that pulled you in. And they just made you focus on the characters, and they didn't need elaborate locations. They weren't focused on all these other crazy, trying to pull off any CG or any crazy camera shots to, you know, they basically just gave you the story, and they didn't need, and the story drew me in. It didn't matter how elaborate the shots were or not. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, I will push this on anybody just for entertainment purposes and also to take notes.
Word.